Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about video games. Surprise, surprise. At the beginning of the year I set a goal for myself, and that goal was to complete 2 video games per month. So really shooting for the stars there, but you know what? My therapist says it's good to make goals, so here I am. I'm going to try to go in the order in which I beat the games, if that makes sense. If I had any sense of planning at the beginning of this year, even though I was writing down what games I was playing, I would have probably been a bit better at organizing, but you know, who needs planning, right? Alright, let's get started. Alright, first up is Voxelgram for the Nintendo Switch. This little game is like a 3D Picross nonogram type game, and if there was one thing you will learn from this video, it's that I am absolutely addicted to Picross. Most Picross games tend to be about the same quality, and there really isn't that much to say about them, so I'll try to be quick with all the Picross games I'm going to mention. Although with this case, there's not many 3D Picross games to my knowledge. The only one I've played was one on the 3DS, and I liked that, and I liked this. There were no noticeable issues, and if you like Picross, I think this is a good choice. The next game on the list was Final Fantasy VII Remake for PlayStation 4. I got Final Fantasy for Christmas in 2020. Obviously Christmas, is right at the end of the year, so I don't really play it until, January. I absolutely fell in love with it, and with Tifa. #1 Tifa simp, don't at me bro. I never played the original game, though I did watch a babysitter play some of it when I was a kid. Although the only thing I remember was something maybe in the snow, and then walking around a town that was vaguely yellow in color. I don't know what that even means because I haven't gotten that far in my playthrough of the original. I really loved the battle system, and I really liked the focus on the different character dynamics within the story, because obviously this part of the story is like maybe 3 hours of like the original game. But I liked how, with expanding it out, you got to really get to know all the characters and their dynamics with each other, and I found that to be really fun. I'm always really about character interaction. I think that's a great semblance of who your characters are and how to develop a story, in my opinion. And honestly, the music was so good. Like, the music alone made me cry at sometimes. Just like, do I have issues? Yes, that's besides the point. The music was fucking great. Particularly the song that plays, and I know it's kind of like the main theme of, I guess, Final Fantasy VII, but the song that plays in Aerith's village is really great, and it struck me. I also found it like a really relevant game to current world issues, especially right when I was playing it, because we had all of those. Just look at the very beginning of 2021, the first couple months. It's relevant. It just felt super relevant, and I really felt a strong connection to the story and the characters. It's probably no surprise that I highly recommend this game. I mean, I would recommend it to anyone who likes games, and honestly, even some who don't. I think it's fantastic, and definitely in my top 5 games of the year. The next few games I ended up playing were a bunch of free games I happened to find on Steam. So they're small, and I don't know how much they really count as me beating a game if they only took like 15 minutes, but I'm gonna mention a few. The first was a short visual novel game called Missed Messages on Steam. Yeah, the whole game took maybe 30 minutes. I played through it a couple times to do different things. It was nice. It had nice art. The story was okay, but I wouldn't pay for it if it was not a free game. And another of my top 5 games, I played Grimm's Hollow, which is another game on Steam that was for free this year that I just absolutely loved. Honestly, it might even be my favorite game I played this year. Like, it left a huge impact on me. It took maybe 2 hours to get through, and everything about this game I just loved. It's a story-heavy, turn-based RPG with just really great art, and I think it's super cute. And the music is lovely too. The whole aesthetic of this game was a good mix of both cute and eerie, which to me is a great combination. Story was a bit predictable, but I felt it was very poignant. It felt weighty. I legitimately at the end was sobbing. But it was so good. I really liked it. Really the entire time I was playing the game, my heart was pulling for the character and just what was going on, and I just felt very strongly about it. And maybe I'm a sucker for this kind of thing. I probably am. But I would legitimately, now I'm really looking forward to whatever this creator makes next, because they seriously have some serious talent. The last game from these free Steam games I had downloaded is a game called Wolf's Gang. It's another short RPG. It took a few hours. It had some light recruitment and castle management features. I felt like a good start of an idea, but didn't really fully get there, which I think that's kind of what the creator of this game was trying for, was try something out and see if it worked, and I felt like it worked. The next game, this is number 6. Why is this 6? It's number 6 on my list. Beyond Eyes. This game came out a while ago, and I remember hearing about it and thinking the concept seemed really cool. And I liked the concept of the game, and like the way the game was played. Like it's like you're playing a little girl who is blind, and you can't like see anything, but like when you walk around places, like because of like your hearing or smell or whatever, you can see kind of the space around you. I don't know, I thought that was an interesting concept. I didn't really like the story though. It bothered me. Spoiler alert, they killed the cat. What? I'm sorry, I love cats. I don't want to see that cat dead. Like, oh, what was the whole point? Oh, I left my home and you know, was able to adventure on my own as this kid who's blind, and you know, probably getting out of the house by herself for the first time ever. And the whole story is just basically like, oh yeah, and that cat that she became friends with is dead. And I was like, what? I don't know. It honestly made me angry. Yeah, I ended up feeling very disappointed by the game. Next is Shadow of Colossus. I started playing this game like a year ago, and you know, would just play it every so often, and I had really liked it. Like the mechanics of the game was really great. I just, some other games had come up, and so I was playing other things. Honestly, this game is just plain fun. It's really cool, it's really epic, it's almost calming in a way, because a lot of the game is you're just riding around on your horse, trying to figure out where you need to go, and it's just really fun. I don't think I've ever played a game that has the same feeling as going through the wilderness, finding these gigantic beasts, and like, you know, defeating them in like combat. Like, it's so cool. It's one of those games where I really would be like, oh, I'd love to play that game again, but I feel like the experience of playing it a second time probably won't be as grand as playing it the first time, and experiencing that, oh, like you'd open up into like the area where you're gonna fight, and you're like, oh, okay, and you're trying to figure out how to fight things, because it was almost as much of a puzzle as it was an action game, and I found that to be really, really fun. I went through a bit of a phase playing through some older Sonic games, so I played Sonic the Fighters, and you know, I mean, it's a game, and it's Sonic. I also then, my 9th game that I played was Sonic Adventure. I haven't played through this game basically since I was a teenager, and I gotta say, the Sonic Adventure games, while janky as fuck, are some really fucking solid games. I mean, I've heard people say, oh, they suck, it's just nostalgia. I mean, yeah, they're janky, but like, it's so much fun to play. I don't know. To be honest, I expected that to be my experiences to play and be like, oh yeah, you know, this isn't as good as I remembered. But we're just as good as I remembered, so... Also, I've been saying it for years, Sega. Chow Garden. Bring it back. Anyway, hell, like, gotcha the shit out of it. Make it like a mobile game. I would still... People would spend money on that shit, Sega. We want Chow Garden. Please bring it back. I'm begging. Next is, and I'm just lumping this together, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I got the Faerun collection on Switch, which includes Faerun 1, Faerun 2, Faerun Origin, and Faerun Blast. I had actually originally played the demo for the first one on the 3DS, however many years ago when it originally came out, but never got around to like actually buying it. And luckily this game ended up being, the collection ended up being on sale, so like for super cheap. So I kind of was like, okay, well, I mean, 4 games for dirt cheap, I'm gonna grab it. And honestly, I fell in love with this little series. I think it's really fantastic. The puzzles are fun. I love those top-down puzzle adventure games. And I hope they make more of these games at some point. I would love to play more of this series, but you know, it's probably been a while, so maybe not at this point, but I enjoyed it. Next, I played through all of Picross S4 on the Switch. As I said before, addicted to Picross games. The 15th game I completed was Blossom Tales for the Switch. It's your pretty typical indie classic Zelda-inspired game. It's fun. It's basically like playing an old Zelda game. What's not to like? And again, another game that I'm like, hey, I would love to see a sequel from you guys. Like, this game is legitimately really fun. I honestly don't remember a lot of it, but I did really like it, and I would happily play more of that. The next is another top 5 game, and that would be Murder by Numbers. Yes, this is another Picross game, but a caveat is it's also a visual novel. The visual novel is like a very engaging and funny at times murder mystery story, and I just found that really enjoyable. It sets up great groundwork for this to become a series, and I hope it does because I thought it was fantastic. Another game for the Switch that I ended up liking, and this one I was kind of surprised about, is called Tori 3D. Tori is this budget platformer with kind of a vaporwave style to it. Literally it was like $1, and so on a whim I bought it. I tend to, like, I like some platformers, but I'm not very good at them, so I tend to be a bit iffy on platformers, but I do tend to like the 3D platformers a bit better. The controls are tight, there's a fair amount of content and replayability for such a small game. You know, getting all the collectibles and unlocking the other extra characters you can play as. And honestly, it's cute as fuck. And it's $1. I just get it, it's $1. Back to JRPGs, I played through Dragon Quest II this year. I played Dragon Quest I the year before. Because they have 1 through 3 on the Switch, I love Dragon Quest. And again, very happy to see that these old games are on the Switch now, where like I can play them. I heard a lot of people complaining about, I think it's Chocofish, who did the updated art and graphics for the game. I've heard people say that they don't like it or that it looks bad, but I personally liked it. I thought it looked good. Granted, this is the only version of the game I've played. I didn't really see a problem with that. Number 19 was Hidden Folks, which is a very fun little search and find game, like a little virtual black and white Where's Waldo. It was fun. I like search and finds. Number 20, Witchin' Hero. This is another one of those games that I had played a demo for on the 3DS and played a port of it elsewhere. I played it on Steam. I'm not really sure what kind of game this would be defined as. Tower defense or bullet hell. Something like that, which neither of those are games I typically like, but I liked this game. I can't give you a specific reason why. I do think they had a sequel on the DS, or the 3DS, but the sequel doesn't seem to be up on the Steam store at all, so maybe I'll have to play it on my 3DS if I want to play the sequel. Number 21 is another top 5 game of mine this year, and that's Evoland 1, the first one. I've been meaning to play this game for a long time. Like, I've had it sitting in my Steam library for like forever and just never got around to it. I really loved the mechanics of this game, of going through like different old school like JRPG or adventure RPG game styles increasingly towards the future. Like, that's the whole point of the Evoland games. But anyway, going through the different eras of game was really fun. I loved all the references. Alright, back to another top 5 game. We've got Forager. I played this one on Switch. This was right when this summer I got a back injury. I was laid up for a while, and I basically played this non-stop. Like, I was just like, I'd have YouTube on, I'd have my ice packs, I'd have my pain medicine, be laying down, and I'd just be playing Forager. It is really addictive farming crafting simulator type game, but it's like pretty fast paced and it's really fun. The gameplay cycle is super addictive. You just want to keep playing it and playing it and playing it. Just get the one more thing, or oh, I'm just producing a little bit more money here so I can do this, or so I can do that, or oh, if I just get one more of these So you keep playing. There's some puzzles in it as well and some dungeons, and all in all, it's a really great game. After that, I played Tiny Lands for the Switch. This was another search and find game. This one's like a 3D search and find game. You can rotate and zoom in on the little dioramas to find the things that you're looking for. It's like you have two different images and it's like spot the difference. My only problem with this game was that you could only rotate and zoom in at certain areas, so it's like, well, I want to check this area specifically, but if I zoom in, I can't see that area anymore, but I want to zoom in to like this area. So it was a little clunky, but all in all it was fun. The next game is another puzzle type game. Pixel Cross Adventure is a Picross game. As we said, I fucking love Picross. And this game is from the Pixel series. It's a series of like puzzle games. There's like Pixel Lines, which I played and really liked, and Pixel Color or something, which is like a color Picross type game. I haven't played that one. But I like the games, they're cute, and this one had kind of a cute retro feel to it, and there was a lot of puzzles to do and all that, which was fun. Alright, this is another one that I'm just gonna chunk together with 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Played all 5 Mercenary Chronicles games. I think there's a 6th one now, but it came out recently and I haven't gotten it yet. Not much to say here other than that they're the Mercenaries series. They are a strategy, turn-based strategy game. Pretty basic, pretty simple. They were fun. I've played a number of basic type games like this, but like this one I found was pretty fun. I think out of the 5 that I played, the second one was the best. I really liked the second one, and then I think it was the 4th I liked next best. So 2 and 4 were my favorites of that, and the 3rd one I did not like at all. I mean, I didn't dislike it, I just was like, it was my least favorite of the 5. Now we're at game 30, so as we can see, I did pass the threshold of 24 games in a year a bit ago, which, yay, I beat my goal! Serotonin. So Tori 2 is the sequel to Tori 3D, and this one is a bit more speed-based than platforming-based like the first one, but it is still just as cute, just as fun. Again, it's $1 as well. Yeah, I hope to play more Tori games in the future. I hope they keep making them. They're fun. Next, I played Steamroll Dig 2. I played most of the first one on the DS at some point. 3DS. I think it was on 3DS. I found that game to be really fun. I heard online people complaining that it was like too easy, which, yeah, I guess it was easy, but like, it was fun, so who cares? That's kind of my take on video games. Hot take. I feel like it shouldn't be a hot take, but apparently is. I really liked that game. It was fun. You dig around, you find shit, you sell shit, you upgrade shit, you dig some more. What's not to like? Then I also replayed Sonic Adventure 2 this year. Love Sonic Adventure 2. As I said before with Sonic Adventure 1, didn't expect to like it as much as I did, and like beyond just the nostalgia factor, and found it to be a really great game. I still want to play more of it and try to get like beat all the different modes, like 'cause each stage has like 5 different like goals in them, and for most of the stages I've gotten at least the first 3. I'm hoping to get all of those just because that would be fun, and you know, get more items to play with my chows, which is always fun. I love the chows. Sega, please give me Chow Garden back. That's all I want. I just want the chows. After that, then I played Steamroll Dig 1 because I didn't feel like playing it on my DS for some reason. I don't know why I decided to buy it again on the Switch, but I did. And I realized when I played through it that I had all but done like the last little area of the game on the DS, so I guess I had already played basically the whole thing. But whatever, it was fun and I liked it. I would say the second one is better. The first one is a little bit harder, but like not really. So again, I didn't understand what people were complaining about with the second one being too easy. Alright, we're down to 3 more games. The next is Moonlighter. It's a little, I guess, roguelike game. I hate calling things roguelikes because I tend to dislike the basic sense of roguelike games. And I know I'm saying rogue wrong, Rogue is probably how it's actually pronounced. I tend not to like roguelikes very much because I think they get boring after a while, because after a while, if you're not proceeding, like, if you're not constantly getting something in return from going into the dungeons, it just gets boring to me. But I think this game had a good balance of that because, you know, you'd at least get something that you could sell in your shop. Because it was also a shop management type game, so you could always at least come out with something you could sell at your shop to get money, or some item that you could use to craft into something better. So I found it to have a very satisfying gameplay cycle. I think the version on the Switch has like this DLC included, and I didn't finish all of the DLC because I just wanted to move on to another game at that point. Really fun game. It was good. And the art is super cute. Then on stream, actually, I played through all of Resident Evil 2, the Leon storyline, because I had previously played as the Claire storyline. And I thought that was really fun. Also, follow me on Twitch if you don't. I haven't been streaming much lately because some stuff happened, but I'm planning to pick up streaming again after the new year. So check that out. I'm playing through Resident Evil 3 and Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time right now, so come join the fun, please. Not much to say on Resident Evil 2. It's a good game. Survival horror. It's Resident Evil. I love Resident Evil. Woohoo. And then my last game that I beat this year was Final Fantasy I Pixel Remaster. I had bought that bundle at some point when it was super on sale of like all the, it's like the first 6 Final Fantasy games in this Pixel Remaster mode. And again, I've never played the first 2 Final Fantasy games. I've played 3 and a bit of 4 and a bit of 6. So, I mean, I'm excited to play through the other Pixel Remasters too. But this game, I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I was thinking to myself while playing it, I was like, if this game is as fun as it, like if I'm having as much fun as I am right now in 2021 playing this game came out in like what, like 89 maybe 90, I don't know. I think it was the late 80s that this game originally came out. This must have blown people's minds. This game is fucking good. Yeah, no wonder Final Fantasy became huge. Like it's a really solid, I mean, yeah, it's a very traditional old school turn-based RPG, but it's super solid. That is all 35 games I completed this year. I was hoping to beat Resident Evil 3 and Final Fantasy 2, but I didn't get around to doing that. I'm this close with Shin Megami Tensei 5, but I'm just not going to have a lot of time in the next week or so to finish it. But yeah, that's all the games I played well, not all the games I played. I played many more, but these are the ones that I actually beat. You know? That's that. If you found that interesting, let me know, what games did you play this year? What games did you like? What was your top 5? I think I named 5. If I didn't, I will put in whatever was my 5th in editing. Alright? I've been your boy Beck. See you later.